Hi Sagittarius, welcome to your August 2016 general tarot reading. So I am starting over again. I had just begun to do your reading and I just was saying some things that were kind of I just woke up from a nap and I haven't had any coffee, so I'm kind of like a little bit fuzzy. So I'm just going to start over again and try to be a little bit more concise because these cards and this layout, it's all a hot mess too. So the overall energy is the Temperance card. This is for August, and this is a card related to balance and, not being extreme in any way. That's a card associated with Sagittarius. So it's something which really resonates with us in general. The weird thing about it is I'm always wondering why the Temperance card isn't related to Virgo, because it does seem to be that kind of an energy of purity, and I associate that more with Virgo. But in any case, let me look at the past and the present to get a better feel for why there is a need for that in August. For the past position, I get the Four of Pentacles and the Page of Cups. The Four of Pentacles is a card of someone who is managing their money very carefully. It can be in a good way. It can be in a stingy way, in a fear-based way, depending on the individual. And the Page of Cups is an energy which is kind of like totally different from that. It's kind of an energy of, I would associate it particularly with Pisces, but it's any kind of energy of a child who is innocent, somewhat gullible. Of course, it can relate to an adult who has qualities like this. And when I see those two cards together, it could be a dynamic in a relationship where you have one person who is very grounded and together and financially solvent, and the other person is an artist, might even have psychic abilities, and it could be a parent and child. I'm not sure if the Four of Pentacles, it could be you, even though it's associated with the earth signs. So perhaps there may be an earth sign and a water sign individual in your life for whatever reason. Maybe I feel like for some people there may be a love triangle, because I did get for the present position, one of the cards I got was the Three of Swords. And the threes can indicate sometimes that there are three people involved in the situation, along with the Queen of Pentacles. So that could be a baby mama, and especially if it's an earth sign baby mama. So the earth signs are Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. If there's anybody in your life, it could be that you have a Capricorn and a water sign individual in your life. Now, this could be what is causing you to, be a bit topsy-turvy right now, as August begins, where you're a little bit, in a chaotic situation, and you need that temperance. The Page of Cups could refer to a child. Maybe you have a child with this, with a person. It could be a spouse, or it could be that they have a child with somebody else, and that child is on their mind, and that's what is dictating their decisions. But in, the case of people who may not have this kind of love scenario, if we look at it from, career concerns or money concerns, it can be a situation where you were possibly really, in a job that was financially stable, but perhaps you had a desire to do something more creative. And, it's like a person stuck in a bank. Now, Sagittarians, I'm a Sagittarian myself, some Sagittarians work in banks. Not all earth signs work in bank. I mean, not everyone who works in a bank is an earth sign or a water sign. Sometimes there are fire and air signs in banks, but fire signs working in those kinds of situations like a bank, it can be kind of difficult because it's hard to get really excited about that kind of work unless you really, really love money to the point where it just constantly fascinates you, or maybe you like numbers. So it can be where there's a push-pull between you wanting, more of an artistic situation and wanting financial security. And yet you want that balance, It's kind of like bothering you, perhaps, and causing you to feel like you're trapped. And then now you have a situation where possibly, I feel like for some of you, because we have the tower below, I feel like you may be put out of your misery. And you may not even ask for it. Like maybe you go back and forth about whether or not to quit a job, and it quits you. And if that's the case, understand that it's what you want, because the higher perspective is the eight of swords. So you are feeling very trapped in your life for some reason. And sometimes we need that catalyst to get us, to make us change our course. And sometimes the lure of a steady paycheck can be hard to ignore, especially, nowadays when you see so much instability in general and people that don't know which end is up. Even if you are generally someone who believes that you will be taken care of, that the universe has your back, it still can be a little bit unnerving to navigate through life and feel like, gee, I don't know if I can step out in faith on this one because my bills are still going to be there. Well, you may just get this, bolt of lightning from above that shakes up your world, but it will shake you out of this self-imposed prison. So that actually can be a good thing even when it doesn't feel like it. The challenge card is the Page of Pentacles. So, this can be that some of you, let's say this is a relationship issue. Some of you are probably being challenged by the person who is an earth sign. Now, it might not be your partner who's an earth sign. It may be that if they have the mother of their child or the father of their child in their life, that you may have to deal with this situation. And it may cause you, even if the person that you want to be with, even if they say, I don't want to be with that person anymore, you may not feel that that's the case. You may see that the other person is trying to stick around, and you may be kind of feeling that they are too involved with that person, even if they have split up, even if they're divorced or they're separated, they're not with that, living with that person anymore. You still may feel that they are in the vibration of your partner, and you may feel like you don't really have a relationship. You may feel like you're a fifth wheel in a sense, especially if you're dealing with their child. And I would say if you're in some situation like that, not to take the bait of necessarily believing what the person is saying, because obviously sometimes people lie, and you don't really know what's going on. And if there is a child involved, that child must be put first among all of the adults, and his or her welfare must be the #1 priority. And yeah, I mean, that's something that can cause a lot of conflict, because you may be in love with this person and you may feel like it's not fair that this other person is trying to get that person back and using the child in some cases to do so. But it's really not for you to, judge, because there may be more to the story than you know, than the person that you're with is telling you. And this is especially true if you found out that they were with that person later. I mean, my gosh, if you got with somebody and you did not know they had a child, they conveniently left that part out, and then suddenly either you found out through a third party, or you just they told you after the fact, after you were in very deep with them. That's cause for a red flag too, is that you should have known that they were a bit deceptive. But something may come up that kind of makes you aware of something, or that is the final coup de grace that makes you able to just say, bye-bye. I'm not dealing with this crap anymore. The Page of Pentacles, in a professional sense, it could be a message that you receive that relates to, sometimes it might be a job offer or something you receive from a client that causes you to, maybe you find out something about your boss, and that causes you to have a revelation that you have been somehow duped, and it frees you, it liberates you. I wanted to say too that, this Queen of Pentacles, this could be a female boss particularly, or if it's a man who has a lot of feminine energy, it could be a boss figure. And I just feel that you're going to be released from bondage in some way, whether it's in a relationship or whether it's in a job situation that you just don't want anyway. The advice is the Ace of Wands. So this is about starting something that really, revs up your engines. And it can, for sure, be a business, your own business, because the wands relate to any creative endeavors, but including business. So the Ace is the beginnings, the ceilings of it. So definitely, especially in August, probably up until last week, when we will see a Mercury retrograde at the end of the month, but for most of the month, there is a green light for you to start something new in August. And we're going to have, just thinking about this actually, hello, for those of us who are Sagittarians, we have 2 planets that are going to be making some headway in the sign of Sagittarius. Now, at the beginning of August, there is going to be a, what would you call it? Oh yes, Saturn is going, well, okay, here's the deal. At the beginning of August, on August 2nd, Mars is going into Sagittarius. It's already been direct since late June, but it's been traveling through Scorpio, the sign prior to Sagittarius. I'm not looking at an ephemeris right now. I'm just trying to rack my brain. And so yeah, so that's pretty cool. So it will be going in Sagittarius on August 2nd. So all of us as August progresses, should start feeling more energized. You know, you may have been kind of dragging in July because Mars would have been in our solar 12th house, and if you have Sagittarius rising, that is your natal 12th house. So when it goes into Sagittarius, and as it gains steam, we should start feeling more energetic and more ambitious to complete our projects, especially before the Mercury retrograde. And also, we're going to have Saturn turn direct at mid-month. I think it's around the, I don't know, 12th or 14th or something like that. And so Saturn has been retrograding in Sagittarius, so it will still be in Sag when it goes direct, but just the retrograding of any of these planets in our own sign can be quite, you know, a reflective time rather than more of an active time. So that should be really cool, you know, for pushing forward. And definitely with this card, I would do that, you know. And then the outcome is the King of Swords. And so this is the card of really having your mind together. Like, you know, seeing things as they are and being a good judge of character, especially if you've had some revelations be revealed to you. It's, you know, thinking with your head and not your heart, and being on top of that game. I do actually connect it to this Temperance card, because it's like if you've been really kind of agonizing and being put through the mill with a lot of strong emotions, you'll end the month like very masterful, and that will enable you to be better equipped to do what you need to do, because you're not going to be kind of pulled in different directions. Because, you know, as fire signs, we do tend to be quite passionate, and our emotions are stirred on a frequent basis. And I don't know about you, but I certainly can have a hard time thinking straight when I'm in that emotional, you know, place. I think it's pretty common, actually. And that's why we have to be very vigilant in making sure that we stay on top of things. Meditation is a great way to do that. And it's amazing how less reactive you become when you meditate, because you are, you know, achieving that equilibrium, which is the Temperance card. So that may be something you want to do. But anyway, Sagittarius, I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you'd like a private reading, click on the link below. Otherwise, have a great month. Bye.